Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you've done for the country and for the Army and the men and women that serve under you. We've talked in the past, Mr. Secretary and General, about a thing called the Distributed Common Ground System. It's the Army's intelligence gathering software product that is out there. I appreciated, General, that you sent the Vice Chief yesterday. We had a great talk with him about the Distributed Common Ground System. My question, though, comes not really a question. I've got some information that Third ID, contrary to what I've been told by the Army, still doesn't have the commercial off-the-shelf product that they're using in Afghanistan back at Fort Stewart. In fact, I have it right in front of me that the G3 directed a hold on the Third ID operational needs statement for Fort Stewart for the reach back from Afghanistan, so they can train the people that are going to take their place there and also use their analysts in CONUS helping them in Afghanistan. So you still have units that are requesting the off-the-shelf product that are not getting it. That's number one. Number two, I can't wait, and I look forward to working with you, and like I talked with the Vice Chief yesterday, on a way forward to work out how we can leverage and use the innovation and ingenuity that exists in the open market in places like Silicon Valley and the Northeast, where you have great commercial products, you have really smart people doing things that the Army's doing. When the Army creates its own cloud, Google did their cloud a few years ago, and it's fairly successful. D6 cloud isn't working yet, but it's soon to be there. Apple created a cloud a few years ago. It's working fantastic. That's what I use on my phone right now. You have a lot of products and a lot of commercial software out there, and in this time of extreme budget cuts, we've already spent almost $3 billion on D6. You asked for another, I think, $270 million this year. Lifecycle costs going upwards towards $8 or $9 billion going into the future here on an internal DOD in the Beltway, trying to recreate systems that already exist in real life and are used by big business every single day, that are used by the CIA, the DEA, the FBI, all the special operations forces. They use some of these off-the-shelf products. And I just look forward to working with you to fix this, because what we want is the best for the warfighter in the most economic way possible, the most efficient and least bureaucratic way forward to get into the warfighter's hand what they need. And like I said, the Third ID still had their operational needs statement turned down. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
May we respond? Or I think I heard a question.
Mr. Secretary.
Well, I don't want to respond if the gentleman's going to leave. So, would you care to hear a brief response?
Mr. Secretary, we've been talking about this for about a year and a half, and this 20-day-old email where the Third ID still doesn't have reach back to the off-the-shelf system. We can talk all we want to. It's not it's not going anywhere. So I'm happy to stay here and hear a response.
First off, I object to this. I'm tired of somebody telling me I don't care about our soldiers and we don't respond.
General,
everybody on my staff cares about it, and they do all they can to help. So if you want to bring up an anecdotal incident, let's sit down, talk about it, and we'll give it a response. My guess, if I go back to my staff, they'll tell you, in fact, was responded to, and they'll tell you they don't need it, or they said they've since not requested it and said they don't need it anymore. We've been going back and forth with this for months, and I'm tired of the anecdotal incidents.
If you don't mind,
hold on a second.
you have
let me answer.
A very powerful personality, but that doesn't refute the facts that you have gaps in the capability in the system.
We have more capability
right
today in our intelligence than we've ever had. When I was a division commander in 2003, a company commander today with D6A has 20 times the capability I had as a division commander in 2003. Our intel organization has moved forward greatly. And let me go back to the statistics. It's $10.2 billion over 30 years. That's the D6A program from 2005 to 2038. So let's be careful about the statistics here. Okay? So I want to have a conversation about this, and I want you to get briefed on D6A. D6A is much more than what we're talking about here as link analysis and visualization. It is a capability that allows us to link intelligence from the national level all the way
Absolutely.
down
General,
to the
I'm
theater
with you,
level, to the
but
individual level.
I understand.
And I could go to 30 places that tell me it's working tremendously.
Correct.
Is it perfect? No. Will we have iterative processes that can inject more technology?
General,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
And I want to
When-
work with you on that as we go forward.
If you don't let me say anything, then we can't have a conversation.
Well, you weren't going to let us say anything.
Well, you're right, but I have that prerogative when I'm sitting up here.
Well, I have a prerogative, too, and that's to answer a question or an accusation when it's made.
Number one, I was not accusatory. Number two, there was no
Gentlemen.
question made. But with that, I yield
Gentlemen.
back the balance of my time again, Mr. Chairman.
I'm aware of this problem that we've had, and the reason I wanted to let the general respond. We made progress, I thought, yesterday on this, and I want to have that meeting that we set up, and we will move forward on this. But I think that we will get this resolved. But I wanted to let the general respond, and you've both had your word on this now, and we will follow up with these meetings. We will get to the bottom of this. Thank you very much. Ms. Duckworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary,